Callie in the house. Yo, what is going on, my dudes? We have an older Honda Accord today. It's got some dirty windows, but we're gonna make it look just as good as we got any other car. So this one's gonna be a little bit of an interesting one for these back quarter windows. I'm not super excited about what I'm gonna have to do to them, but we are still gonna make it look pretty dang good. They just have some funny gasket seals. So this is one of those like weird cars where you either would have to completely yank the glass out of the car or just kind of like cut them a little bit short. I don't really see an in-between in trying to get some of those bubbles all the way out. But we have some older stickers and stuff that we're gonna have to take off. We gotta give it a nice thorough cleaning before we get started with it. So hope you all are doing good today. Too bad you aren't going to do what I've got today, a 96 Bronco. Ooh, that back window on the Bronco, I tell you. If you haven't done it, the Bronco back window rolls up and down with the key in the tailgate. So what I would do, and what I've seen other people do, is actually we'll lower the tailgate, latch it, open up that back window, because you have to lower the back window to lower the tailgate. And then you prop it up on, like, honestly, a trash can with a box underneath it. It's pretty good height. It's a little janky, but you can get that back window to rest on something. You can tint it kind of outside the car. So your setup is, thank you. I appreciate it. What can you do to avoid little dust bubbles in baby soap? Oh, okay. What can you do to... So really, the little dust bubbles are dirt specks. That just comes with thorough cleaning and a lot of practice. So anytime you fight with film, you get little dirt specks in it. And baby soap is great. So I use a mix of baby shampoo and dish soap right now. What's up, Matt? I was a drummer / window tinter, all learning from you. Love from SoCal. Hey, man, what's up? That's cool. You know, I wanted to learn drums when I was younger. My family, like my mom and dad, they wanted us to learn an instrument, and they're like, when you're in high school, you can learn any instrument that you want. And we're like, I want to learn drums, and they're like, except drums. So they made us all learn piano, which I forgot most of. Do you use purified water? I do now, but I don't go to get it. I use just like a simple water purifier thing attached up to the water line. I've been having issues with bubbles that come out from surfaces that are all cleaned. It's usually from the install then. Like, so anytime you kind of fight with the film, it's going to introduce trash back into it even though you cleaned it thoroughly. Fontana right here too. Dang, we got a few people in the same area. Piano is cool too. I didn't think so. I mean, it is, and I forgot most of it. I never really took the time to learn sight reading, and that was so I'd memorize all the songs with like kind of figuring it out over a long time. Yeah, it was bad. It was always bad with piano. They about to go thugging in that car? Yes. I was gonna text him a link. He was like, I want it all limo. And I was like, gotcha, bro. Except the windshield. We were going to do it, but we're not going to do it. But we definitely weren't going to do it in limo, so. Let me see if I can find this really quick. Things are going good. My morning appointment showed up late, so I had a full Kia K5 with a full windshield before this. I was thinking about going live with the first one, but then he ran a little bit late. But we got it done. It was cool. It was really funny too. Oh my God, he's probably watching this. So he actually, so little story. He called the studio and was interested in scheduling an appointment. But then he said he had already, or like he watched the videos, he was a big fan of the channel. And then we quoted him, and he's like, all right, I'm going to call a few other places. I called him out on stream, but it just a funny story. He was actually showed up and got his car tinted, so that was pretty cool. How many cars can you do in a day? There's what you can do and what you get comfortable with doing. So I do typically like yesterday, I had a mix and match of what I had 3 full cars, 2 full windshields, and 2 sets of front doors yesterday. And you can do more. I can do more than that, but it's like at that point I'm pretty much just like it's a good day for me. So a lot of the full cars used to be without windshields. Now there's a lot more stuff that is adding full windshields here. Those quarter windows are killer to tint all the way in. Yeah, I'm honestly gonna ask you guys about that because what I usually do is I just cut them short, and I'm not proud of that. But if there's a good way to like pull them or tint them any other way, if not, we're just gonna cut them short. I don't read music either. Learn by memorizing songs. Been playing for 15 years. That's cool. Is it just yourself tinting? Yep. What's up, man? All right, I'm getting distracted. Saturday, this one. So let me see if I can text. How do I do this? Three. I can't find the number. I need to get a legit phone thing because I've been doing a lot off of Google Voice. Because it's handy, because it's free, and you can text and whatever. Yeah, I can't find it. But I bet if I search a chord, I could find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, they kind of like blacklist some of them. Like they take them out of the search. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me get the link. Oh, I didn't change the thumbnail either. I knew I missed something. We're going to change the thumbnail here right quick, too. Here is the link to the live stream. Okay. All right, let's change the thumbnail. So this is fun. Do you give a certificate at the end of the course? I don't have an official tint class. Oh, that's old. We gotta take that out. Okay, so thumbnails. This is really fun. Not. YouTube always wants thumbnails for live streams. So I have to go to... I take a picture on my phone. Oh, this one stands out. And then I send it to the computer, but the annoying bit is the size of it needs to be under 2 megabytes. So then I have to resize the same picture because it's 8.6 megabytes. Then we resize it on the board. Tint. We resize it. It saves. And then we have to find it. There it is. Da-da-da. And then what's cool, too, if you guys didn't know. There. You can set your video location. So YouTube is the mastermind of tracking all things. So YouTube, local business, it's a helpful thing to have. You get to set your location. So set it to your business. Helps with search, I'm sure, on some level. You don't know exactly how, but, you know, it's all connected. Gonna start my mobile tint business soon. Congrats, man. Good luck. We are here for help. And do you give courses? Oh, no, we don't have any classes at the moment. I would give a certificate. I didn't realize that those are actually sought after. Because to me, it was like, a certificate doesn't really do much for you in terms of, it gives you something to hang up on the wall. So, they are appreciated. I didn't realize how appreciated, so. Is this a crusty one? It is. It is. So, some extra cleaning on this one. So this is why you generally charge a little bit more for older cars. We usually charge a pretty flat rate, so like there's no alarm bells on this one, and it's not that big of a deal to go through and clean something like this. But whenever you get an older car, generally there's going to be a little bit more cleaning. Online live training would be cool. That's kind of what we do here, though. We do full cars, but we could maybe go a little bit more in depth on certain things, but, you know. One-on-one virtual sounds scandalous. Alrighty, so what do we gotta do first? Let's leave the keys there. I think we might actually turn on the car midway through too, just to make sure. I think I left my stool. So we're going to be using an office chair today. I left my little Rhino stool somewhere else, so we're going to be using this guy. But that's okay. I want to find a real comfy stool that has nice big wheels, but that isn't going to like push into the car and stuff. I haven't found one that I really liked. Is there enough film here? We're getting real low on a lot of rolls, so I'm trying to consolidate all of that. And this is mostly from this morning. This was all from the Kia that we did. We had another K5. Turned out really nice. Would have been fun to stream that one too. Where's my scrub pads? Yeah, see, I gotta go get some sort of towel thingy today. I gotta, some organization. I think I know what I need to do. I just gotta go get some stuff today. I like half remember, because I have like a list in my head, but I need to write it down. What kind of window tint do I use? I like using Geo Shield. So this one is going to be 5% Pro Classic all the way around. Except for the windshield. No 5% on the windshield. No windshield today. So really, on older cars too, at least in my state, back windows are generally, like even on older cars, back windows are generally free of like miscellaneous adhesive. They only have sometimes like a random sticker. Most back windows aren't touched. It's like the doors, which will accumulate the most amount of gunk and stuff. So really, I didn't do a ton for prepping back windows before, but now we're using clay bars and stuff. See, these quarter windows, think I'm going to be cutting these short here. It's not something that I'm super happy to do, but there's just, without actually trying to take the door panel and remove the glass, I don't think you can squeegee everything out back there. Because you have this like rubber gasket here, very similar to the older Fusions. But if anybody in chat has a better solution than that, I'm all ears right now. People never clean the inside and outside of the front or rear windshields. Yeah, not a whole lot. They'll like wipe them with their hand or something. But it's kind of like, believe it or not, it's kind of nice that they're relatively untouched, because then there isn't like stuff that builds up other than just like natural floaties and whatnot. So it's like sometimes you'll run into like temporary plate lines or something. You take out all the windows, and I tint them while I'm eating breakfast. Snack on some tint too. Look at that, we got a little bee back there. It's a little extreme. So even though it's an older car, we still take care of it. The Dehydra will change your life. That's a bold statement. Is there any squeegee that can make such a claim? Play like a sad commercial ad, and then I was introduced to this squeegee, and everything changed. Where do you get the white tape? Handful of distributors have it. It's, I think, currently out of stock in most places, including my site right now. We're working on getting more as soon as we can. But there might still be like a little left. Check out my tint stuff. Let's see. My tint stuff. Did it work? Is that open? My tint stuff. Oh, it is working. Whoa, okay. Ooh, that's bad. Oh, there we go. It like logged me out of the chat software for a minute. My tint stuff. Okay, we're good. Somebody in the group had a tip to take out the bugs. Take your scrubber and just the Velcro part and pull them back. GoPro. I would do. I think I've done the opposite. I'll just like if they're like crammed up against there, I'll just shove them down a little bit further. So my jumper is definitely charged today. Just to let you guys know. Oh, that's another thing I have to get. I have to get a jumper.
Head.
Whoa. Where did you get the floor mats? It's a Race Deck floor. RaceDeck.com has them. It's the Free Flow 360. So I like them. They've been good. So there's no drainage here, so you still like stand above water. But it gives it time to kind of dry out. So also depends on climate. So like in the garage at home, when it was really cold, it didn't exactly dry out very fast. But here it dries out reasonably well. And I don't have any, like it's not overly humid or anything, so I don't get any type of like weird moldy smell. So that's nice. Why did you tape the windows? I do it to protect when I cut on them. The floor looks so cool. Thank you. Yeah, this was one of those, like, I'd always been eyeballing that type of stuff. Like, this was on one of my, on my list of things that I really wanted to add here. And I'm going to build it out. So this was from the home garage. This was as much space that I had to tint with at the time. So I'm going to push this out a little more this way, a little more in front. And then I think next we're going to get big old cabinets. So I came across the new age cabinets. They're not exactly like the most premium looking or cabinets, but they sure look nice. So you can get like a lot of cabinet for your money. Look at that, double limo. There we go. Let's get that corner. Go up to there. Ceramic is a marketing phrase? Not necessarily, no. They put ceramic particles in the film. So ceramic can be made up of a bunch of stuff. Okay, I guess I should check how low are we going to make this one. This reminds me of the good old days. Not too low. It's a little pinchy right there. You don't have to go down too far. Is there an angle you can be when cutting on glass? Yes. Okay, so when you're cutting directly on glass, yeah, you want to keep it as low as possible. I'm thinking about like the side seals and the top edge and stuff. And it's really like whatever angle, like keep it at kind of like a 45 to like a little up. I don't exactly know what it would be. Kind of just see it when it happens. But when you're cutting on glass, you want to keep that a low angle because a sharp one definitely going to put a little bit more stress on the glass. So like whatever this angle is, which I don't know. Cockeyed 45. Sometimes a little bit less. glasses just a little bit. Go for the dental floss look. Whatcha? So when I'm doing these corners, if we just do them on the car, yeah, keep that blade real low. I'm gonna over around this front corner just a little bit. It'll make it easier to tuck. No sense in doing a sharp corner when good amount's going under the seal and it's a little tighter down there. On the front doors of a G5. How close? I don't really, I mean, I go about 1/4 inch forward. No, like an 1/8 inch on both. Maybe like a little bit wider, but top you always butt up as close as you can without going over. On these, I take the door panels apart. Do you pull these back quarters out? They're like a little tight at the bottom. I'm curious about the back quarters though. Do you deal with those pickup trucks that have those screwed on quarters? Like the older F-150s, 250s, 350s. Those ones? I have. If you can just take a screwdriver and yank them off, that's the best way to do those. If not, you're going to be cutting around all that. They're in various states too. Some of them are so fused together with rust that you'll end up close to breaking the glass. So you can try to remove it and see what happens, but don't crank down on them too hard. I haven't broke one. Yeah. Okay, so elaborate a little bit more. So as far as these back doors go, what are we in for? Would we have to literally remove the whole door panel to take out the gasket and then unscrew some stuff to take out that quarter? Because if that's all that we have to do, that's quite a bit. I'd have to do that at a later time. There we go. This takes me back. How much to tint the roof glass on a Tesla? Which one? Like the Model 3? That whole back one? Because you have to order a special roll size for that one, unless you happen to carry 60s, which most people don't. That's a big boy. So we had a Model 3 in here, and we were $850 with carbon for the whole thing, with the windshield. I think that was right. We were $850 for that one. For just the back window, it'd be in the realm of like 3, because I would do those for 6. It's kind of hard to break it down like that, but pretty sure 3. Well, that one's just running away. All right. There we go. The doors are pretty straightforward. Seal on the bottom, a little bit tight. Windows, a little bit curved. They're a little bit taller than newer stuff too. Most things that I'm running into aren't quite like, you can see these fingers popping up here too. They're actually pretty rounded. The early 2000s, a lot more things were very rounded. Back window surprisingly is not though. So, kind of want to make sure that you get like most of it, or else you'll be running into those little things on the inside. Those little fingers. Have you done a 2000 Honda CR-V back window? Oh. Oh, that is not fun. You don't want to do that. Why do those things still exist? Oh God, those are not fun. Ever done a 92 Beretta? I also hate those. The CR-V, you have a bunch of stuff in the way. For those rear quarters, you're gonna do tint the whole glass, or you're gonna stop the gasket. Unless there's something easier we can do, we're gonna stop at the gasket. It's not something that I do very often, but it's one of those things today. So that's why I'm kind of like trying to source chat knowledge today. If you guys can kind of talk me through what kind of work is going to be involved in removing those rear door panels to get that quarter out of there, then, you know, if it's something pretty straightforward, that's fine. If it's going to be a lot more of stuff, then we're just going to cut it shy, because there's going to be a whole mess of bubbles. Here, we'll look at it. So for these ones, there's going to be like a whole bunch of, you can get here, and then everything past here is like, you know, everything that I got is kind of beveled. So you can try and get stuff back here, but there's going to be all kinds of little bubbles and speckles and stuff that are in here if you manage to shove the film back here, especially down here. You're not going to be able to squeegee everything out. It's a lot of work, honestly, to remove. Then we're just going to cut it shy. Again, not something I'm proud of, so if you guys want to publicly shame me, that's fine. It reminds me a lot of the older Fusion windows, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's the way that I used to do these. The Fusion ones, if you guys remember the older model Fusion, one of the things about them was they have the same type of, or not the same type, but they have like a similar styling to them, where they have like a big rubber gasket. I like to shove a bunch of tri-edges in there. That will help in freeing up some space. So we can get back farther, we're just not going to be able to get back all the way. Oh yeah, snap shrinking. We got to talk about this a little bit, right? We get a lot of people asking, but not a lot of explaining lately. So we already did it. It's done. So snap shrinking. Let's go over that real quick. This one, especially on something that's a lot more curved, so you can see with the sheer amount of fingers that pop up, we have a little. So let's say I have my pattern. I put it on the car. Now what I'll usually do is I'll shoot for the bottom edge and the longest edge. I'll get as much film on the glass as I can. And then you do this kind of like this rainbow thing here, and you're pushing everything to the bottom. And then the bottom, usually it's not overly curved to where you can't get everything kind of squeegeed out, and then these fingers will pop up. But you don't want to press too hard and crease it or anything like that. So most of the time, you won't. And then you're just going to pull back on it and just heat that bottom and watch it all kind of form this little smiley dealer. So the way that you know that it's totally shrunk is when you go to squeegee everything out, like you would on the inside, it all lays down. You can see we got a couple here, a couple there. It's not all the way shrunk yet. So then you pick it back up, just curl that a little bit farther. So there's quite a few people that are telling me that they're shrinking and they're still having things popped up. It's like, well, you did shrink it, but you just didn't shrink it quite enough. So the way you know that it's enough, too, is one, everything's down, and two, when you go to lay it down like you would on the inside, it doesn't fight with you. It should just be nice and easy going, and then all locked down. That's what you're looking for. Somebody's talking about quarter windows. Okay. This sounds like he knows what he's doing. Have to roll down the window, remove the screw on the top, remove the bolt under the door panel, slightly twist the back pillar holding both the piece of glass, and then slide the quarter out. Oof. Oof. It doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like I need to make the time for it, though. Okay. They're a pain to pull. Offer both extra to pull. Gotcha. All right, so we're going to do them straightforward. Oh, hell no, I ain't doing that. Do you use a MacTac or whatever when you shrink? For the back glass especially, for the sides, you can use pretty much whatever, because the snap shrinking, you're not really doing much with a card or squeegee. Really, it's just, you'll squeegee it afterwards. So it's just about getting this particular look with the film. You just like, I'm shrinking, here, let me get my heat gun out. I'm shrinking kind of in here, mostly down in the lower, and that's gonna pull everything together. And you can see right now, this little swoop right up there. So when I do this, it all lays down. See, we got a little finger there because I stopped. So move everything to the bottom. Oh, look, I got a couple of fingers back here. Well, let's get rid of them. So we're going to focus a little bit more on this back edge. Curl that a little bit more. Windows tend to curl a little bit more on the back side than the front. So you'll have, especially the older ones, you'll have a lot more right in here, and then you can kind of go easy more on the leading edge. Is the Honda being done in ceramic? No. But we are going for a good, high-quality, color-stable job today. So that's nice. Why do you only shrink the bottom? Because that's all you need to do. They're not... Doors aren't as curved as a back window. So in theory, you can shrink a back window just on the bottom, but you're forcing so much film together that it becomes really impractical to do it. So the easiest way to do a back window is just split it in the middle, do the top and the bottom. Well, for the doors, you could do them on the top and the bottom, or you could do them on the top or the bottom. There's just not as much that needs to be shrunk. Top of the line color stable? Sheesh. We have only top shelf color stable, sir. Yeah, this guy right here. I need a different stool. Well, I'm pretty sure I left my stool, but I need to find a real comfy chair dealie. Something with casters that are a little bigger. Something squishy, adjustable, and is not going to get in the way. That's what we should have called it. We should have called it Top Shelf. When I worked at a shop, I would sell ceramic and only have HP film. Yep, I've been in those situations at places. The old bait and switch. Yeah, don't do that. Oh. Oh, dang. I don't know what's going on with the Bluetooth range, which is really weird because nothing's changed. So, like, my headset likes to disconnect right now. Wow. There we go. Sorry, my headphones like to disconnect and I reconnect them. I don't know if it's the added metal or gonna leave that open or something. But right now, they like to disconnect and reconnect. There's not too much stuff here, is there? You'd be like, just use that HP stuff. It's good stuff. Well, it probably is, but yeah. Bait and switch, never good. Yeah, just use whatever. Yeah, I've been at shops, not necessarily tinting for them, but know the people there, and then they'd pull some shit like that. It's okay to do the reverse. So if you're out of your basic, give them an upgrade. That's great. Everybody likes that. But don't do the opposite. Does your head get hot with all that stuff? This time of year, it's really good. Towards the end, it'll be a little bit warm. Summertime, which we're coming into, this place actually doesn't get too bad. No real windows. Stays pretty good insulated. Other places. Oh, plus I have air conditioning up front, so that kind of spills over here. How long to do a full four-door car on average? Generally right now I'm at an hour and a half, and then if I'm just kind of like puddling along, it'll be 2 hours. So if I want to hustle, I'll get something done in about an hour, but I haven't really needed to. So nice easy pace is about an hour and a half right now. So these are nice gaskety rubber seals right now on the sides. We always like those. They don't press in very hard either. Honda, Toyota, Subaru, they all have like very similar gasket style side seals. Which makes it a little bit easier when you're installing all the doors. But then they do the same thing for the quarter windows, so that makes it less easy. There's always these weirdo trade-offs with cars. Think that my two favorite cars to do are probably like, you give me a Taurus, not the old ones, but like the latest model ones, or Malibu. Give me a Malibu all day. The Impala's not as easy. I wish it was. It's unfortunately not. Is this one of those weirdo, like, shifty thingies? Oh, it shifts back. Okay. No problems then. Something you have to watch out for on, especially some earlier model cars, they have, like, the windows can rock inside the seals. So it's like they'll go down, shift one way, and then they'll shift back up the other way. So when you have it roll down, you line up your tint, everything looks fine, and then you roll it up, and then all of a sudden there's a big old gap. Woo! It's pinchy. Very pinchy right there. Just want to say my windshield came out beautiful. Really came out beautiful. Glad to hear it. Is that what we did? We did the windshield? Or is this the K5? Are there any vehicles you dread doing? Oh, absolutely. You know, I was getting like a sea of things that are like, I was kind of, I think, really driving the glass shop crazy these past couple weeks. Because I swear, it was like every car they were pulling in was like one of those where I'm like, not every car, but like every day there was like something that I was just like, I don't know about that. That's going to take a while. What cars won't you take in? There's very few. So earlier this week I had a Lexus ES 250, and that one's actually fine. Because I figured out how to pull the seals on those. The Lexus IS 250s, the older, like the early 2010s, those style ones, I've done them, but ooh, the glass was real sticky. Getting that in place, like the the front windows, not quarters, the front windows come down to a point like that big, and they have a tweeter that pops right up in the way. ugh. Stuff like that. I don't absolutely dread it, but anything with like the front quarters is just kind of like a, because it's just the time. It's the extra time that it's going to take to try and get those things in, and I don't know how many tries it's going to take me to do it. I got to look into, there was an interesting point that was brought up to put like a fishing line or something in there to help. We won't take a 95 Cutlass Supreme. Yeah, I feel the same about a lot of old cars. The windshield on my Avalon. Oh, cool. Hey, it's the guy that brought the coffee. I'm glad you like it, man. Thanks so much for bringing it in. And glad you like the, yeah, glad you like what we did to it. We did ceramic. Oh, yeah, we did it on stream. Duh. What now? Say what now? Hang on. I got too many things in my hands right now. Oh, there we go. I thought I saw some little bubbles there. Just along this edge. I wasn't getting this in here and swiping quite right. There we go. That's better. 10 mil speaker wire? Oh, okay. I guess that makes more sense. 10 mil speaker wire. Okay. That sounds like a crafty solution. I'm going to have to look into that, for sure. I like stuff like that. That's why I really appreciate the group still. I don't know how to do everything, for sure. I've figured out a lot. I've learned a lot from all the groups, from people helping out, contributing. I mean, my style from the very beginning was such a mishmash of like watching a couple of people. And then you just pick up little techniques from people and kind of like make your own, not really your own thing, but you know what I mean? Just what works best for you. You don't want to go and like change it for the sake of changing it, but there's just things that'll come a little bit easier to you. So like people will reverse roll even back windows. And to me, I learned how to carry them in. I posted a help wanted and I got the boot. Huh. I've had to kick a lot for spam advertising, but if there's help wanted ones, I always leave those up, so I don't remember why, if that's the case. If you want to send me a message, probably on like Instagram, and just say, hey, I'm that guy, I can go and unblock you, or I can look into it a little bit more. But if there was stuff that was pushed, then yeah, it's usually like I got people that just come in for straight advertising. I can definitely feel the heat difference. Oh, that's cool. I always like that. Like, ceramic, it's one of those things that like we have the heat box. We have the heat box demonstration, and I try and show it to everybody. But it's one of those things, it's like you don't really know until you have it on your car, and then you can feel the difference. And it's like, ooh. Once you have it, you don't want to go back. I try every day to tint my windows, but I can't. It's hard. It is really challenging to learn. Some people pick up on it quick. Some people take a little bit more time. I've thrown many patterns, things across the room learning. The beginning year is the most frustrating time. Because it's like, you know, an electronics thing you can troubleshoot and you can come back to it. Window tint is like, you got one shot, and then you can redo it, but you're always starting over. You just have a slightly cleaner surface than before. How long have you been tinting? I guess we gotta figure that out. We say that every time, I think. We're going on, should be going on 13 years. Unless a year escaped me. I've been tinting for 13 years and I've been doing boats for 30. Been doing boats for 30 years. You know what I like about these cars? These cars are just like cars I used to just whip through every day. This was like, you get Accords, you get Fusions, you get Impalas, Malibus, F-150s, Rams, number of other miscellaneous cars. It's like this was the daily stuff. So while I absolutely love doing like Cadillacs and, you know, unique vehicles sometimes, like even like something like the K5, stuff that looks a little bit nicer. It's like just, this is like daily window tinting. Like this is what it looked like a lot of the time. Towels over the switches. So I'm out of carpet shield right now, so that's why we're doing it, but that's also the way that I'll do it on a daily basis. Put a towel over the switch, wipe off the paneling, and just move quick. Good. I mean, they're a little dirty, so. How did this fall? Oh my God, what is this spaghetti noodle? Oh, I think we made it worse. This is like when I go to reach and grab headphones out of a pocket. Or at least that's what, no, everybody's on Bluetooth now. Nobody knows what that is. Holy shit. How often do you redo or restart a window? Might be one a day. Thankfully it's dropped down a bunch. It used to be like 1 or 2 per car back in the, I mean, especially in the beginning, it was like you were redoing a ton of patterns. Do you sell tint and tint accessories? I have a site where I sell some tint tools, but here we just do window tinting. It's funny. I get lots of questions, like a lot of people asking about other things along with the tint. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I just specialize in window tinting. So some of the reasons that I'll end up redoing it is like, for whatever reason, I might have like creased it while I'm trying to install it. Or I just had like a bunch of dirt in like a corner or something. It scraped along something while I was trying to install it, or I didn't get it tucked quite right into the side, or a bunch of felt leaked in. And then you take a good look at it and you're just like, ah, yeah, that looks like trash. So then you peel it off and redo it. Like up here, actually. So one reason I'm actually razor blading a good amount of these windows too, actually all of them, because on windows like this, you're gonna run into stuff that is stuck versus just kind of sitting on there. See how this is from the seal over years. It just kind of sticks to the window, slowly deteriorates. So in this case, you're absolutely gonna want to take a blade, scrape all that stuff off. Finally made it to live again. Welcome. What's up with that? Just scrape the whole thing because you never know what's going to be stuck to what on the doors. Back glass looked really clean. Side windows, they got a little bit of stuff. But you can absolutely put out a really clean job very efficiently on something like this. You don't have to like wash it beforehand, whatever. Like for me, if I always had to rely on other people pre-cleaning their cars before they brought them in, the day would go twice as slow. I had one, so there was an appointment earlier in the week at the glass shop. So I wrapped up with one appointment, and then the next appointment was rolling around, and it was still like 15 minutes early. He actually showed up to the shop. They told him it would be in just a little bit, and then he left to go get the truck washed before we tinted it. And I was kind of like, I'm ready for it now, actually. I wish you would have just kept it here. Because, you know, I'm going to spray it anyways, so whatever dust was on the outside of the vehicle, getting it washed beforehand, it's not going to make a big difference. Not unless you went, like, mudding. If you go mudding, yeah, wash your car. If you're not, it's fine. Expensive car with 5, no problem, but cheap car with 5, but they're coming to get you. Possibly. It's just, the more you blend in with traffic, the less problems you're going to have. As soon as you start standing out, glass is easy to scratch when cleaning with a razor blade. I haven't run into miscellaneous scratches from a razor blade. That goes for new cars with it on the inside. It's sticking. Come on, just give me a little bit. There we go. Yeah, if I was scratching windows with razor blades, I would have stopped a long time ago, but it's just not one of those things. Could you? Sure, but keep a low angle. Use fresh razor blades. Make sure there's no coatings on there, I guess. You open it that easy? Like peel? Practice doing it. There's, what, 7 to 10 pieces usually on an average car. You do that multiple times per car, per week, per year. Shit adds up. All right, let's check out this bottom corner. Still a little tight too. So I must tug it in with like the back of my fingernails. Get it on the glass and pull the seal back and just like scooch it. And then also rolling it in so it'll start to pick back up when you create that little air tunnel. And then you kind of like, as long as it's sitting on the, like floating, you can roll it in. Give it that little wave. And then it'll be down there. The problem for tucking film really comes from when you're, what am I trying to say? When film grabs the glass, so when the adhesive on there really sticks to a spot on the glass, that's where you're going to have a hard time trying to shove it into a seal. So like on the K5 that I did earlier today, the seals are a little wider, and they have these rubber bits that press against the glass. And you have to tuck it a lot farther on the sides. So it's like it starts to stick, and then you slide it back a little and go a little farther in. So water ever mess up the motor? Thankfully, no. Thankfully, I haven't run into that yet. It could mess up particular things. This isn't a hard rule, but so most windows have a membrane in between this side of the glass, this side, the inside of the outside of the glass. Everything that runs down will generally be on the outside of the membrane. And then there's stuff on the other side that'll kind of roll up and down. So they make glass and components in the door able to get wet, because even though you have an outside seal, there's still all this water rushing down, and it's dripping to the underside, and it's all going out. And that's where they put these drain holes in the bottom. You'll see them in the bottom of every car. There's always drain holes there, because they expect it to get wet. They expect condensation to build up. You know, somebody will roll down their windows, and it's raining. But sometimes there'll be a module in a weird spot now on some newer cars. And that's where I'm paying close attention to the group to learn about those things, because more often than not, somebody else will run into it before I do. And then they'll post about it. So that's helpful. But I did run into a Durango where I totally almost fried. You just have those handful of cars. You know, this K5 that I did, I actually left the panel in. I gotta say, that front seal is a little tight. I popped it on the first two because people were like, oh, I fucked up a K5. I did the full thing without a windshield without any problems, so I was pretty happy about that. Figured I'd take the risk. They seem pretty straightforward, but they were a little tight on that bottom. I clean everything thoroughly and I still get speckles. All right, we'll try and help you out here with this one. This is tint installation lesson number 9,000. So the amount of cleaning, I had this really good video when I was doing the certified tinter thing, and I think I should post it. But I've added a few things to cleaning that do help, but it's not necessary. Like, what I mean by not necessary is, like, it'll help get that little bit extra clean. But I was, okay, so for the longest time I didn't use a razor blade. I just rough scrape, and then I started using like a scrubbing compound, and now I'm using like clay bars. So there are a few things that I've added, but we're gonna razor blade it. We're gonna take one of these for the side seals. So nothing insanely crazy on the cleaning side of things. But we'll clean it, and we'll talk about where the dirt will come from. Yeah, I really should post it. Because it was like, I'd see videos of people like cleaning their windows for like 10, 15 minutes almost, and then go to install it. And it's just like, yeah, it's too much. So I'll give it usually 2 goes. 1 would probably be fine, 2's to be extra thorough, but again, it's like not necessarily completely necessary. So you got it all squeegeed off. So we swept everything, we scraped it, we clay barred it, we swept everything over, we flushed it down. There's still dirt that's trapped into the sides. The top edge, maybe a little bit. Do you use 2 squeegees? No. It's something that I would probably benefit from, but out of habit, no. It was always, and still is, 1 squeegee for just doing everything. Having 1 squeegee only touch the film would probably be a good thing, though. Okay, so we left it a little over the top edge. We sprayed the whole thing. We're ready to go. We peeled it halfway down. This is where everything will go wrong for you. So what you need to do to get it clean is, it's mostly technique. So I'll generally roll up the tallest side of the window. Stick this part onto the glass first. Leave that hanging. You see that little liner that's kind of bumping it away? Nothing's touching the side right now. Still, wave down, roll just the tint up, and then you just want to slide this in real easy like. And then you can roll up this side of it. Pop it back just a little bit, get this flat edge here, tuck in the side. So if you're fighting with the sides, this window likes to tack up pretty quick. So if you start fighting with the sides, what we really did is we pushed everything out. So when we put it on the glass, we slid it this way, slid it this way. Every time I have to yank that film back out, it's sucking out trash that's trapped in here. You can clean it 1,000,000 times, and maybe eventually that dirt will go away. There's somehow always a little bit of dirt that wants to feed back into your film. So if you just push everything that way when you're installing, leave it, then everything just continues to get pressed out. Top edge, we didn't take it over the top and drag it down. We started on the bottom and pushed it up. So everything's been going outwards. So get that into place. You really only need to worry about the top portion. You don't have to squeegee all this out because it'll likely pop up anyways. So once that's tacked in place, we'll roll that up. I'm going to turn off the car. So this is a candidate for a car dying on me. This is part 2. So we kind of do things in like a little bit of a flushing wave manner. So when we rolled it up, there's dirt that'll sit along that bottom seal, and then it'll get pulled up and it'll be sitting right along there. So same for when we pull the liner, we're kind of pulling things back in. So what I'll do is I'll use some pressure, and you'll see the water hit up to here and create a little wave, Flush it down, wash all that shit down. Then we pull the bottom. Now where dirt has a chance to come back in is when you pull that liner back in. So again, the underside of this tint is a little dry now, so I'll take the opportunity and spray a little extra. For some people, that's a lot of water. For me, call me, I don't know, Mr. Fire Hose. So now we're going to be tucking in the bottom. And again, this one likes to stick a little bit, so this isn't going to be the smoothest of examples, but you tuck in one corner a little bit, tuck in one corner a little bit, and I try and keep this edge flat as much as I can, because a flat edge will slide into the seal much easier, and now everything's here. Roll this up. Once you have this nice air tunnel up here, you get that corner in. What you're going to find is get this down, and it's all going to just start to roll. But anywhere that's still sitting above the seal, you want to flatten it out. So you're going to put some sideways pressure and just start rolling it down. Now this popped over my side seal a little bit, so bring it back just a little bit. Once that's all sitting there, got this air pocket, just hold that seal back, push all that air out, and there you go. Everything has been tried to be pushed out. Nothing's been sucking dirt back in. And then from there, push everything out. Push everything out. And then even with all that, you still might get something. That's why we keep aiming for perfection. It's usually going to be something that you can find somewhere, whether it be a miscellaneous speck in your water, something that stuck to the glass, something that magically was put there by the tint demon himself, right? Because if there's a tint god, then there's definitely a tint devil, right? And then once all that's squeegeed, so I ran into a lot of stickiness with this window. You could see when it put it on the glass, tried to slide it farther, and it goes. So you want to try and get these things as close to where they need to be before you stick them to the glass. But even then, I'll have, oh, it bumped. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put that there. Little rust fell off. But yeah, you're trying to, the idea is you're trying to get everything to go outwards. Clean it and push it out. V7, one shy of a V8, thank you. V7 tints, trouble with the back windows, should I wet shrink them? Dry shrink them. It's well worth trying to learn. Absolutely dry shrink them. If you do wet shrink them, you could do like this teardrop method. But dry shrinking always goes smoother and faster. So you might run into a crease, and it's a little bit challenging to learn. Thank you so much for the 2. But we'll go over shrinking a little bit too. Yeah, that's one of those things I'll definitely always suggest dry shrinking over wet shrinking. Okay, so we're going to do these quarter windows last, I think. Let's go ahead and jump on this back window now. Then we'll do the quarters, which is so exciting. Looking good. Where's my roll? We put it over there. Also, we're going to be getting the quarter windows from the back window roll. So at least putting it on there and rough cutting it, you get some extra film. You guys know. 36-inch on most back windows add up to back window and quarter windows. See, we just cut out this big old piece. So we already have our back window prepped for dry shrinking. So what that involves is, one, if you look at the beginning of the video, we thoroughly cleaned everything, put on our whatever stuff, and now we're going to shrink it. I just don't... What was that? I just don't understand how the fingers work on back windows. Okay. Cool. That's good. That's helpful for me to try and explain what's going on here. So, window film is, imagine that it's stretched, and when you're shrinking it, you're pulling it all back together. So, you can actually really define all the fingers and stuff. So you need to just kind of make it really straightforward for yourself. So Even amount on the top, even amount on the bottom. So that usually means that you just go right in the middle of the window. So create a hard line there. And then your sides, you don't have to hard tack them down. So when people say H pattern, they mean like one in the middle, one on the sides. But the thing is if you force these sides to be completely laid flat, you're forcing all this tint up here to be shrunk together. And you can give yourself a lot more space than that. So lightly tack them on the sides, but we can only shrink film vertically. So whatever orientation you rolled it onto the glass needs to go up and down with that. So you can basically make these fingers all pop up almost individually. Run your fingers along run your fingers along the fingers, and you can see more. This isn't a super curved one, but they're all kind of going like this. You're directing everything so it's going up and down, so you're not shrinking it out sideways. This here, this starting to wiggle up on the side, just make it go up. So when you shrink, it should be as simple as you throw the heat just past the point of where the finger starts, and you'll start to see these little wiggles. As soon as this film starts going sideways, it's basically telling you it can be laid flat. So all you're doing is you're getting it to go sideways so you can smooth it down. So it's helpful to go evenly, almost like and then down, down, cross, down. Just keep everything running together. You'll know you went too far. Like, look, I'm not shrinking, I'm not shrinking, I'm not shrinking, I'm just going down. And you'll notice I got all these spikes. Look at all of them pointing up right now. These are areas, this needs to be shrunk, this needs to be shrunk, that needs to be shrunk. Whenever you run into a spike, let's get back to where we were, you want to shrink a little bit past where it starts. Don't shrink right at the peak. Shrink a little bit past it, and it'll get it to all kind of start going sideways. Just keep that heat moving. Once it starts going sideways, press it down. So really, the felt card is to smooth everything down and keep everything organized, and the heat is doing all the work. So when I'm doing this, I'm shrinking it to the point where it needs to be pressed down, and I'm just doing it, just doing it, just doing it, just moving it along. Without doing that, let's just throw it, that's fine. That's kind of what it looks like. Just go along, get that film to go sideways. Keep moving up. Starts bunching up a little bit. We want to just try and keep that smooth. Because you have all these peaks and valleys. So the peaks are going to start getting real hot. And they're going to start shrinking together before some of the areas touching the glass are. So you see how this is kind of just all smooth, straightforward? You just smooth it out. All the felt card's going to do for me, where'd it go? All right, it's somewhere under the car. Is just going to get those extra little wrinkles to lay down. And it also helps push everything to what's next. That's all you need to do. So this isn't a very curved back window, so this is going to look very straightforward. But we have plenty of windows, windshields, back windows on this channel that are much harder than this one. I'm doing the exact same thing in all of them. I don't always talk about what I'm doing, but it's just all very straightforward. So that wasn't anything really different. I'm still waiting for it to go sideways, smooth it down, sideways, smooth it down, sideways, smooth it down. So the biggest areas that need to be shrunk are going to be in these top corners. The middle kind of lays flat, the glass bows, so most of this lays a little bit flatter, more so on the sides. So start at the lowest point. And look, you can get that, all these lines. Now the sharper the line, the more tension that you're creating and the more that needs to, like, it's gonna fight against you. So don't over shrink it, just shrink it enough so when you smooth it down, it just kind of like likes to go down. Now we shrunk most of this and it created this like curve here. This is where our next main spot is because we didn't go evenly, we just decided to do this part, and we're doing this part. Same thing though. So, hope that was helpful. We're still gonna cut it and then polish up the edges a little bit, get them to tighten up, because we're making a relief cut. Fun fact, Honda made a hybrid of this car and it didn't sell very well because it was too expensive and it didn't actually save very much fuel. Cool, did I sound smart? I should have somebody that gives me, oh man, that's actually kind of funny. Somebody have chat give me fun facts about a particular car. We'll spice up the stream, make it interesting, make it sound like I know a bunch about cars. Thank you for that. That was actually cool. What kind of hose do you have for your tint keg? I got two. So I don't know what the blue one is called, but they're both available from Sun Distributing. The light green one is by Flexzilla. It's actually an air hose, but it's really flexible. And it looks cool, but unfortunately it also gets really dirty. The blue one is a little bit stiffer, just a little bit, but I think it cleans easier and it's more durable, and it's actually made for fluids, I think. Don't quote me on that. Should be. Thanks. You're welcome. My robot voice is so monotone, it's just like, thanks. Even if people put like exclamation marks and like all caps and stuff, it'll still be like, thanks. Oh, that would be cool. Maybe I'm high, but how are you reading the comments? Maybe you are. I have text-to-speech. We gotta put all this stuff over here. So we are moving in. Yeah, text-to-speech. Everything's a robot voice in my head. Okay, so what do we have to work with on this one? Nothing crazy. Third brake light. Looks like this would pop out, but it gives us enough space. So we can actually tuck a bulldozer in there. We got plenty of room on all the borders, so like good amount of space here. That's always nice to see because you're not fighting against paneling or anything. Looks like these probably come out, but I don't know if they're like stuck. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave them. And then we'll grab a towel and throw it in the back. But So what I was saying too, for polishing up after I shrink, what I mean by that is after you shrink the film and you cut it, that cut created like a relief point. So if you had all that film bunched together in here, sometimes you're cutting out part of that shrunk area that's holding the film down. So you can actually tighten up those edges before you go to install it, and you're way less likely to have something pop up somewhere. If you go way back on my videos, I actually used to cut the film before I even shrunk it. But we were using Lumar ATC at the time. That film shrunk really well. I could probably do the same thing with this film too. I just got out of habit with doing things that way. It also gives you a little bit more room for mistakes. So, you know, if you start to like burn an edge or something, you have more material to like work with instead of just a flat cut off. Can you tint windows that have been tinted out of the factory? Absolutely. They're just colored glass, is all they are. Is that Boss? Oh, dang, I guessed it. Boss, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 25. That's a big one again. Hey, Matt, how you been? Got my windows done. Limo on the sides, 20 on the back window. Question, how to solve the issues with the film at the dot matrix edges, or do you wait until the water has evaporated? There's only so much that you can do, but yeah, wait till it completely dries, and then you could, it's better to have it a little bit warm, so on a sunny day, or just warm it up with like a hairdryer or something on the edges. Then you can take your finger and just kind of press it down along those dots. But every film's gonna be a little bit different, and you really only have one shot, so just try and press all that air out in one time and just go around the edge. And however they stick is however they stick. The dot matrix edges are just never one of those things that you can rely on turning out very well, especially on the border that goes all the way around. So film has a very thin adhesive, so a lot of water sits in there. So thank you so much for the 25. I appreciate it. It's one of those things I wish I could take care of more, for sure. So like after this one, after we do this one especially too, like we'll still have that same type of border. And in the beginning it might look invisible because there's water in there, but it'll dry out and it'll still look like however it decides to look. All right, what are we doing? Towel. This one is wet. This one is not. It's always a, no worries, it's always a pleasure to learn from you. Thanks, man. Oh yeah, and this. Oh, dang. Is removing tint harder? It's generally way more time consuming. We did a live stream, the last one that we did, I did a full removal. That was on a really bad old film. You can check that one out and see the pain and struggle. It basically took twice the amount of time. So while you don't have any film costs, you have time and labor costs. Okay, where's my, I feel it, there it is. This one, I'm gonna try and wash out a little bit more, but we've been using this clay bar for a while and it keeps getting dingier and dingier. But it's still very functional. Just doesn't look as good. So I think we're gonna finally swap it out. But I've been using this same clay bar for probably like a month and a half now. And the only reason I would swap it is just because it's getting dingy. It's been on a lot of cars. I joined Tint School online and I learned a lot. Glad I joined it. That's cool. I appreciate the feedback on that. Yeah, so something like that is definitely going to have much more detailed information on certain things. I've tried to do my part to post lots of tutorial videos and stuff. But it's definitely very time consuming to do. So they seem to have a really straightforward course. I haven't looked at the course, I've just seen people talk a lot about it, and they're saying really good things about it. I'd probably do something similar, but what I don't think I have the time. Well, I know I don't have the time to like answer lots of questions in a privatized fashion. That's one thing I like about them too, is they have a private Facebook group, and Elliot seems like he's really involved in that group. Okay, so we've cleaned it all off. We're just gonna pick it up, throw it in. So we'll grab it in the middle here, and we'll toss it. Toss it up in the air a little bit, catch it. Just kind of get it to go like this in your arms. You can use your mouth too to kind of pull it back on your arms. It's not the most elegant thing. Although, I worked with one guy who used to throw it up in the air like a pizza, and he would catch it like a pizza. That was impressive. I should practice that more, but I've ruined lots of patterns trying to do it that way. Oh, we still got the bee down there. We're just gonna cover him up. See, because we're sliding it on just the glass. We're not rolling it across the deck lid. So when you do that, you really avoid any trash that's coming in off of, you know, even a really hairy, nasty looking deck lid. You're not touching that. You're just touching the glass. So if you do that, it'll turn out very clean. I used to run into like a small speck or something at the bottom, but I think that was just clumsy installation, because I honestly don't run into specks like that anymore. The most that I'll run into is like maybe a group of speckles, and that would be because I bumped something on the way in, or I dragged it along like the side pillar or something. So I'll still have the occasional bad back window, but as far as like small little specks or something, good, that's a water droplet on the outside. The bottoms will be very, very clean. It's just getting all the air and moisture to go out all at one time and not lock any dry spots in. So we get one down. We usually go over it one more time, put a little bit more pressure, still go straight over defrosters. When I shrink back windows, I go finger by finger. Is that way not efficient? Yeah, not really. So, like, reference the way that we were shrinking the back window in this video. That way is going to be a lot more organized. So if you're doing it finger by finger, it's like you're getting this area to kind of suck together, and then you're getting this area to suck together, and this, and really you just kind of want to like go smoothly down together. It might starts, you know, because it starts pulling from here, starts pulling from there. It might start looking real messy. If you're gonna do it finger by finger, there's also actually another really interesting video that I have on the channel. Actually, let me pull this up. It'll take me like 2 seconds to do. Because this is a really good example. This way would make it go really fast, but it helps illustrate a point. This. Once you get that edge. Locked down. So, important for me to get it to work. I go through a couple examples of it, but if I was to do it finger by finger, this is how I would do it. But this is also dry, so watch this. Watch it all lock down. You force that hot air to go up the finger. Once it locks down, this is how you shrink 3M crystalline. And then you just go up and see how it all starts to smooth out. That's what you would do. So that is this video as a good reference for that. But I would still shrink it the way that I do. And that's why I do what I do. I dropped a link in chat too. So go check it out if you want. Might give you pocket shrinking, yeah. That's what it's called. Because I was at the Tint conference, and I was talking to a guy that owns a 3M shop. And he said he installs crystalline a lot, and that's the way. He was doing all sorts of crystalline shrinking demos. And I was just like, oh, that is cool. Maybe I should start doing more videos and use them as actual examples on stream. Because I'll talk about that I have a video, but then you got to go look for it. Here, there it is. Boom. I was chopping down some of the videos into dedicated videos too, and I've just been busy, so I haven't been doing it very much. I need to do that. Maybe I'll tell Nick to do that. Okay, so now we gotta look at these quarters, because this back window looks great. Years of just build up. Like I said, you know, as long as there's no adhesive glue marks from like temporary old plates and stuff like that, then generally they still clean pretty easily. This quarter window, on the other hand, is not. Is that blue tint? No, and then, you know, I had people ask about, you know, they say it looks blue under their lighting or something. And I have bluish walls, so I don't always notice it. It looks a little bit blue under the light. You pull it outside, it looks very just tinted. Does that make sense? It doesn't actually look blue. But there's also like a lot of coloring it's in the limo. Oh, this is what I need. So if you use generally really tan films, this isn't gonna look quite the same. But it is a very nice looking film. Is this gonna line up for me? Is this straight? We like when it is. Good deal. Okay. So, like some people said in chat, there's a lot of work that's involved in removing these quarters. So we're going to do something that I normally don't like to do. We're going to cut them a little shy. There's not going to be a light gap, but they are going to be a little shy from the edge of the exposed window because Honda decided to make these real goofy. Or we could just tint them on the outside, right? Oh, there it is. Ooh, should I buy a 3-gallon tint keg? All the 5s are sold out? Dude, I would 100% buy a 3-gallon before I buy a 5. I love the 3 gallons, way better than the 5. Okay, so we're gonna cut this just a little wide. Yeah, so when I talked to Tint Keg on the one for here, what I thought would be a good idea was to have a 5-gallon and leave it in the corner. But the thing is, I get through most of a day. If it's like a really busy day, I'll have to fill up like once. But I'll get through usually a full day off of a 3-gallon just fine. So why I said a 5-gallon, I hadn't used one. I always used the 3. And I figured that would be fine. But honestly, I wish I had the 3-gallon. If you're walking around a shop too, like 3 gallons, oh, they're the perfect size. They hold enough water to get through a day, and you'll be great. Just easier to lug around. Okay, so which way, if we're going to shrink it, we gotta shrink it a little bit here. I cut them short too, thank you. I feel awkward doing this, honestly. But this is the way this window just kind of is without pulling apart a lot of stuff. I wasn't sure what the general reaction was going to be. So this is where, like, if you're more adept at pulling stuff apart, this is up your alley. This is where my skill set drops off a lot. The old acid. Oh no! What did we charge? $240 still. So, not bad at all. We're still charging regular prices. So you guys see, like, newer car, older cars to a certain extent, I'll still charge the same across the board with, like, a lot of them. A lot of things kind of even out. This used to be my daily workflow type of job here. So, just kind of flush it out a bunch. And then just shoot for the fences. So I cut it a little bit farther, and we're gonna see how this turns out. We might have to shrink it up a little bit. But it's been a minute since I've done these, so I wanna see what that looks like. Like what I'm fighting up against. Is it just gonna slide in place, or is it gonna be a big pain? Because we did deal with some stickage on some of the other windows, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the same. But if we can get it just past that gasket, then we're pretty scot-free. Doge to the moon. Oh. I was keeping an eye on it. I like to see where stuff like that ends up. I'm not chasing it though. The markets are looking pretty scary right now. They're starting to talk about a crash. And there's a lot of interesting things happening in filings and whatnot. I'm still in GME watching the battle for 180 was really funny this week because it became a meme. Okay, might have wanted to go just a little bit shy, but we'll see if we can get it. I don't think this is gonna work. So we got most of this down here, but like in other similar quarter windows, that top corner, oof, that top corner is pinchy. Yeah, we should have rounded this. Oh, God, it just got bunched up there. I feel like the meme stock stuff has gotten out of hand. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was... I mean, for a while, I was just like, what the hell? And then I realized everybody calls themselves ape. And I was like, oh, well, they don't even take themselves very seriously, so, you know. It is what it is. So, take all that stuff with a grain of salt. But as far as a lot of actually concerning things with the markets, I mean, it sure seems like a lot of unusual shit's going on. Things that have never happened before are happening. And at pretty exponential scale. So there's just, the most concerning was the margin debt. It's double 2008. So if there's a pullback, then a lot of things are going to start. Basically, it's like if everybody's trading on margin right now, and then they want to pull back the margin, then that causes everything to go down. High PE ratios across the board. Yep. Yep. It's like, what even is a valuation anymore? It's just kind of like, traded at this and it's supposed to go to this. It's just everything's so exponential right now. So, like, what really clicked for me was like I said, with the margin debt, I was like, holy fuck. Because it's like somebody with, where's my, oh, there we go. Because with the, Archegos, whatever that hedge fund was, they had assets of $15 billion. They were trading at $80 billion. And then something went really south for them. And the question is, how many other places is stuff like that going to impact? So what we might be seeing is the last run before a big sell-off. Because, you know, one bank pulls back, another one pulls back, causes markets to go down, other people lose positions, other people pull back, and it all just kind of starts falling. But I didn't know they were letting, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's just, I don't want to, it's all so crazy. I read a lot about it right now. I'm glad I think I understand a big part of the problem. Do you have problems with door windows that move around? Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, wait. Shrinking this. How did we... Dang it. I forgot which way we had this. I'm trying to shrink it a little bit. Okay, good. I still don't know. I just happened to shrink it a little bit. All right, we're good. Yeah, so rocking windows back and forth, what I'll do is I'll roll it down, and then I'll pull usually on this edge, and that'll get it to level back off. So however I do it, I'll roll it down a little extra far, roll the window back up, and then it'll only have to go up a little way from there, and then it'll line up. But if you just roll it down, install your pattern, sometimes it'll shift back into place. So you can either size your windows a little bit wider or just install it that compensates for that. Which, funny enough, I've actually never had a complaint from that. So if it shifts down, there may be a little gap on the sides, but I'll usually try and oversize it to compensate for something like that. It's just like if I happen to miss it at the time. What was that? At the same time, it's really hard to invest anywhere. Is that bonds, CDs, savings, interest rates, all mediocre? Yep. Yeah, for sure. I've had to learn a whole bunch of stuff. I ended up starting to pull money out of the bank. We had a bunch sitting in savings, just pulled it out. I mean, it was really funny with, like, I don't think I've ever really had a savings account. And then, like, for the past, 6 to 8 months, we actually had, money going into that. And, yeah, they give you interest on it, but they only give you, it's 10 cents in a month or whatever. It was really kind of laughable. It's like, wow, thanks for the, 5 to 8 cents I was getting on a monthly basis. Appreciate it. I wonder if we're gonna run into the same problem. Ooh, no, we might be okay. Hello, Tint Studio, how can I help you? Yeah, sure thing. What kind of vehicle do you have? Okay. Are you looking to do everything with or without the windshield? Yes. So pricing, I'll give you both prices, it's fine. So without the windshield, it would be $240 for all the sides and the back. That's in a color stable film with a lifetime warranty. And then the windshield is an additional $130. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I do both pretty commonly, so not a problem. Sure thing. Would Wednesday work out for you? I booked up a little bit more through the week next week, but I do have some availability on Wednesday. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as we hang up the phone, I'm going to text you a link, and then it'll bring you to our studio website, and then let me double check the time. Would you prefer morning or afternoon? That should work out great, actually. I'm just going to make sure that I didn't have something that potentially is double booked that day, but I don't think so. Wednesday the 5th. Yeah, yep, it's free and clear in the morning, so you are all good. Would 10 a.m. work? Awesome. Alrighty. So as soon as I hang up, I'll text you that link. Just set it. I'll set a little reminder too for the time in the day. But yeah, next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Perfect. All right. Thanks for calling. Bye. Yay. Deposit. See, now we go to here. And then that was the most recent. Let me text that. Here is the deposit link for your Mazda 3 at 10 a.m. on Wednesday the 5th. Do you take deposits? Yes, we do. How come you didn't mention there was a deposit fee? Because I forgot, actually. But I did say leave a deposit, so that implies there's a price. Here, I'll just text one more follow-up. Good morning. My wife doesn't let me watch YouTube. Well, welcome. All right. So we managed to, I think, tuck all this in, but we're just going to double check. Yeah, we're going to have to heat just a couple little pinch points. These are tough, man. Tough to get clean into place. It's just a lot of old dirt that's built up. But we'll get it down. Yeah, just that gasket fights against that too much. I don't think my headphones are working. There we go. That should fix it. Is Lexing good? It's okay for the price, just hard to shrink. Do you shrink with baby powder? No. No, I never liked the baby powder method. There's some guys that really like it though, over like dryer sheets or dry shrink prep. So give it a try. It's into the quarters like the way you're doing it. Yeah. I used it a couple days ago and it started to shrink. Yeah, that was my experience with it. I think it takes a different understanding of shrinking. Because there's like, I like the film to cling. And I guess the ways that they were doing it, it's just they like it to float a little bit more. So there's something that I'm just not understanding from it with the way that I'm doing it. Yeah, so we're going to leave them a little bit shy today. But all our gaps are all covered up. So it's just that either we disassemble and take out the quarter, or they turn out like that. So why is that popping up? That's weird. Oh, because we shrunk it. The edges on Lexan are really hard to shrink. Yeah, that was where I really ran into the problem. Any thoughts on flex film? I have some thoughts, but not very good ones. All right, so let's do this other one. Wait, I'm missing something. Oh, is that what that mark is? Because it's from a junkyard? Ah, I didn't know that. I did see it. I just didn't know anything about it. Hey, whatever works. Man, I love those questions. What does GeoShield ceramic taste like? Tastes like money. What does it taste like? Flex Film sells this gutter plotters for 3x more than the site. Oh, really? They put that much of a markup on them? That I didn't know. I know they did some videos on like the US cutter ones, which I think is actually a fun idea to do. My favorite flavor right there. For sure. Yeah, I've heard some are also reboxing their tint software, which I hear they're getting licenses from Film and Vinyl Designs. $250 plotter, they have it for $800. Oh, ew. Still, an $800 plotter. I would not look in that direction. See, that to me sounds like a fun video. Because, like, how far have plotters come? And, like, because plotters, usually you're not getting a halfway decent plotter for under $2,000 typically. Like, if you find, like, a Graphtec or something used, they'll still hold their value. But generally, you're not going to find them for under that. And if you do, then you actually, like, it's a good deal, unless it's just completely broken. But those things are workhorses, so. A Graphtec, Vinyl Express, any of those. But the suspect ones were, like, I heard mixed things about the Jaguar plotters. They tend to have parts that go bad. Same thing for, like, the US cutter ones. It's like, when you're getting into that low for a plotter, it's like, it's not the best, because you're going to be relying on that machine for a lot. Sounds like you're going to have to try buying a gutter plotter. I wish they'd just send me one. They were trying to advertise in the group. Well, I mean, they were. And I messaged them. I was like, hey, send me one. I would love to do a video on it. And they said, yeah, that'd be really cool, because we'd actually like to see somebody that's skeptical of them actually use one. I was like, cool. And then I never heard anything. I was like, oh. Maybe they thought it was a bad idea then. Maybe they saw me actually talk about plotters. So, yeah, they're just like, so coming from using Graphtecs and Vinyl Express, they're workhorses. But they're really touchy machines. So once you get it set up and working, it's great. But eventually that blade will start to wear out and it'll start ripping through film, or it won't cut enough, and then you'll tighten it up and then it'll start ripping through film. One way or another, it'll start ripping through film. And then it takes a while to get it back into some type of working order. So, and then once you get it, it's good. So it's like it takes some time to learn and work with your machine and learn the quirks. Do you let the customer know that the seals will cause scratches? Oh, the rubber ones? No, it's not generally something I say. I haven't really seen it. It hasn't been it's never been a recurring thing for me. There was one car I remember, like a Ford 500, those things. And I think the Lincoln version of it fell into that category too. So a Ford 500 and a Lincoln, they had like, it was like an MKZ or S, something in that range. They had really poorly designed seals in like 2010. So I did have like a couple people ask about it at the time. And we redid some windows on stuff like that. And we just like, hey, look, like, you know, we flushed it out, we retinted them, and hopefully it's not much of a problem, but these seals are just hard seals. So, but since then, I haven't actually ever had somebody come back with vertical scratching that I can recall. So it hasn't been any type of concern lately. This one went in a little bit smoother. So once you kind of figure out what you need to do, it'll work out a little bit better the second time. At least you hope. So, yeah. So we're gonna do the same thing. Just gonna tighten up those edges a little bit, clean it off, and then she'll be done. Have you had your fun with the new Blazer quarters? Yeah, I own one. I don't remember how many of those we did on stream. Blazers, I've gotten better. I'll free up that seal just a little bit, and then I'll cut that edge super tight. And you can usually sneak it in with no gap. But that's a real fine line. It can be like very hairline, and it really sucks too, because where the driver sits, you see right through that dot matrix. So that sucker, you want it to be as tight as you can. I've had a couple requests for Honda Pilots too. And it's like you're getting into the same, or not, a little different on those, but the same type of issue with that, where it's just like so much has to be, oh no, not the same type of issue, but like the quarter window issue where you actually have to like basically take the whole seal out to get that sucker tinted. All right. Have you ever tinted a hatchback Integra? I'd have to look it up. Nothing any time within the past handful of years. The Blazers are going to be super common too. They're all over the road. Perfect candidate for front door match. Lots of those. I haven't had a ton yet. More so Rams, Silverados, other easy windowed SUVs. But I imagine, I've had like a handful of the Blazers, but not a ton. Not as many as I thought I'd have, but I imagine there's going to be a wave coming in sooner or later. So that is now all limoed out. So maybe eventually we'll do the windshield. But it's a full older Honda Accord. Oh, I wiped this off. This already looks so clean. Or did I? Maybe I didn't. There we go. I need like a big laundry basket or something. Let's get some laundry bins. We gotta get some bigger trash bins, laundry bins, carpet shield, a couple things. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. In Cali, I get Mustangs. That's nice. We're gonna put that there. Super chat. Who's that? Is that LKB? What's up, buddy? LKB with the 2. Thank you. What's good, $1 Million Man? Oh, just wrapping up an Accord. Just cleaning it up, and then we'll be all set. You made it to the end. Thank you for the 2. I get lots of work trucks mainly, consisting of F-150s. The ones, work trucks. F-150s are pretty straightforward, but the one work truck style F-150 that drives me nuts is like when they bring them in, and they're the ones without any tinted back windows, and they have all the button cutouts that you need to do. So they're like extended cabs. And then you have the F-250s and 350s. So it's like they all vary in difficulty. If they're newer, they're fine. It's when you get into the older ones, the ones with like the rubber seal on the back and extended cab fishbowls. Ugh, dang, that's no fun. I get them from time to time. I feel your pain. Definitely not a fan. Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Limo, limo. Chicken dinner. What? Oh, I moved it. I had to start making rear glass templates. Yeah, at that point, I definitely would. For those, a plotter might help, but the rear glass templates, almost all of them have headache racks. Ooh. Yeah, I started cutting trucks on the inside a while ago. There's, like, everything comes with a cover. So even getting back there, rolling up the cover and trying to cut that sucker out. Then I was working with a guy who just jumped on the inside. It was on a solid style one, though. So he jumped on the inside, stripped the whole film, slapped it up there, cut it out. And then squeegeed it out, and it was like, did it turn out okay? And he's like, yeah, it's actually really clean. And I was like, no fucking way. And then we started doing them from that way. That way from then on. Let me hear that VTech, yo. VTech. Alrighty, we are done. I'd start it, but I'm gonna shut it off. So I'm gonna wait until I'm actually pulling it out. and then we'll be good. So you don't get to hear the VTech. There we go. She's all limoed. Dang. Good deal. Alrighty. Canon. There we go. Is that a K24 or J30? I have no idea. Sounds like you would know better than me. Ugh. Get dirt. Alrighty, my dudes. We have come to the end of another stream. Well, let's hope he doesn't get pulled over. Is there some chrome missing? Probably. It's been through some stuff, but now it's got some limo tint. It came out nice and clean. It looks good. All right, so what do we got on Super Chats today? We had one from Boss. Boss, thank you very much. One from V7, thank you. And then coming in at the end, LKB. Consistent. So consistent with Super Chats. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out today. I know this isn't exactly the most exciting, but you learn stuff on every car. So it was still a good stream. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Our next one is definitely on Monday. We have another Accord. We actually have 2 Accords on Monday. I don't know the years, but we have another set of Accords on Monday, so we're going to stream at least one of them. So be there for that. David coming at the end. There it is. With a $1 Super Chat. Thank you. Whoa. And Boss with another 25, bringing it home. Thanks, Matt, for another great and informative live stream. Take care, buddy. Regards to the family. We'll catch another live if work schedule allows me. Well, I hope you definitely can. If not, we always got the videos uploaded. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys are so nice. Thank you. Window removal on Monday? Ew. We had that this past Monday. That we streamed the whole thing. That was actually super popular. I'm glad you guys liked it. Whew. That was a job. All right, I will see you guys on Monday. You have a good weekend, okay? Take a break, take it easy, or hustle. I don't know. Have a good one. Bye.